So think back to the last video, you'll remember these three samples. These were three samples of ballistic protection using bathroom tiles and various domestically available plastics to investigate some very basics of ballistics. I had a couple of comments requesting these get opened up, so let's get straight on with it. Okay, well, first things first, let's cut open this one here. If you recall from the last one, this is a simple bathroom tile laminated with a piece of plastic behind it. And this was shot with two 357 Magnum rounds. I don't think this is going to show us very much, but let's have a look. It'll take long to cut open. It's just duct tape after all. Okay, there we go, we're open. As you see, that's all very shattered, but the duct tape has held it together. The tile itself is just complete trash in here. Should be a bit easier to cut apart. You can see the bathroom tile there. Okay, so these were like this originally. So there, that's the first one. We can see the point of impact and we've got radiating fracture patterns around it. This is the enamel surface of the tile here. It's all broken. The cracks spread all over. That's held together surprisingly well just for a tile. I mean, within inch and a half, not even that, of each other. What are we from center of impacts there? About 55 millimeters, and still got a crest here. So yeah, I reckon you could fairly say that if that had been successful, that tile would have been able to take another hit. Oh, one down, two to go. Okay, number two. If you recall from the last video, this one, we had no penetration. This is two tiles, two plastic backings, obviously all wrapped in the plastic duct tape, hit with 357 Magnum at 10 yards. So we had no penetration there. So let's open it up. We'll start at the back. There we go. Starting to sound a little crunchy as we're getting into the broken tile sections. So I won't do the blade much good, but that's fine. That should be that's the outer one gone. Oh, look at that. There you go. You see what I'm seeing? Let's remove that. What do we have here? Right in the middle. I guarantee 100% not planted. That was just a big pile of mush. What did I say on the first video? That I thought it had gone through this first tile. And indeed, it does appear to have gone adequately through, just as it did on this. Let's put that one there. And then that it's hit this second tile with the plastic in between it. And that it's this tile here. Let's put these in order. Layer 1. Layer 2 with the round trapped in it. Layer 3, you can see the tile's been crushed as suspected. Let's see if there's any marking on the plastic at the back here. Okay, so this is layer 3 and layer 4, the rear plastic layer. Other than some scratching in the surface of it, a little light on that, no cracks. The only reason it's not reflective is because of the tile dust broken into it. Obviously this tile is just all broken. Don't know if you can hear that. That's just all broken up. That's just a big pile of pulp in the end there. Cutting our way in there. I mean, if these had been surrounded by maybe fiberglass, I don't know, that's a good way of getting your thumb cut. If these had been surrounded by fiberglass, something with a bit more strength than this duct tape, that would have assisted as some of the energy being absorbed by these plates is taken up in the delamination, the splitting of the duct tape. So if the strength of that bonding material was increased, that would have increased the amount of energy needed to have taken them apart. Well, there we go. There's no need to cut any more of this off. I think we can fairly see what's happened there. This is just straight crushing. It's turned the tile into mush, but it has not gone through. Obviously, you saw the round before. Let's show it up to the camera. 357 Magnum. That has mushroomed nicely. Remember, this is the tile remnants from the back of this tile here. I have not. No, I don't think that's even split that piece of plastic. Can't get into it without slicing myself apart. No, let's show that up to the camera there. There's no crack in that plastic at all. Oh, how remarkably successful that was. So let's remind you what that was. That was this tile and this piece of plastic. This piece of plastic on top of that tile. And then, find all the bits of broken tile. That one on top of there. And that successfully stopped. 357 Magnum. Let's have a look at number 3. Okay, so a quick review. First tile, backed with plastic. Did not stop 357 Magnum. Test 2, tile, plastic, tile, plastic. Penetrate first tile, stuck in plastic at the second one, crushed the second tile, no damage to the second plastic. 357 Magnum slug successfully recovered from, well, it's from that piece of plastic. So let's move on to number 3. Let's start at the back where this is already split. Alright, that's the rear piece of plastic removed. Hold that up to the light there. I see no cracks, deformation, no nothing on that. So let's put that to one side. I've got 3 tiles, each laminated. In fact, if I press that down, you can see the layers there. So let's get into it. For this, I'm using a very handy Stanley knife. Oh, I may change the blade on it afterwards. It's still nice and sharp though, so I'm doing my best not to slice myself to bits. Okay, tile number 3. Well, we can already see the same sort of crushing pattern we saw on that tile. Indeed, through through the back of this second plastic, we can actually see the crushing effect. So we actually know that this has not penetrated this second piece of plastic. Wow. That makes it not much more effective than this Magnum round. And that's because it's had extra backing. So let's quickly have a look at this tile. It should look like that one. What do we call it? Rational deductive reasoning. Oh, I can hear it, I can feel it, it's all squishy. Broken tile is very sharp. I can't even remember how many layers of duct tape I put on this. Probably at least 2 or 3. The duct tape is nylon reinforced tape, I believe, so that's good strong stuff. Oh yes, look at that. Oh dear, bits of broken tile everywhere. You can't see it on camera. I should say I'm wearing safety glasses, but I'm not. I should be. I'll put them on in just a second, because that little piece just flicked up and hit me in the face. Okay, we've seen enough of that. I don't need to cut any more of this. We have a very wide crush pattern. At 357, crushed tile number 2 to a diameter of 40 millimeters. This is way off the chart there. Where would that be? That would be about the center of that crush, about 60 millimeters. So that's done some good damage to that. I mean, that's just all That's just all dust. And that's just from crushing. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, broken tile picked up, safety glasses on. Safety first, you know. Let's keep going. Remember, tile, plastic, tile, plastic. Unexpected, a lot more bits of crap to fall out. As we remove this piece of plastic, I'm hoping it'll look like that one. Guess we'll see. Okay. There is. It's hard to see on camera. See if we can get that. You see that on camera with the, there we go, with the light pattern. There's a distinct crush there, probably 40, maybe 45 millimeters in diameter. And I can feel just with my thumbnail, just down this line, a distinct ridge. All right, so substantially larger than this, but not as deep. Remember, that went over here. So let's clean this away and we'll keep going. Okay, where are we up to? One tile, one bit of plastic. Wait, is that one tile or two tiles? No, this is two tiles. Sorry, we've only removed one tile so far. You know what? I'm glad we're cutting these open. I'm learning stuff because, as we can see, my assumption from that first video is mostly correct, but this round has not penetrated as far into this structure as I had thought at all. Okay, I really see no point at all in cutting this one open. This is just completely, I mean, this is just mush out to there. I'll just break away all that loose stuff. We're still in the 50 millimeter wide sort of zone of, the tiles just completely exploded inside here. There's almost nothing left. And that was over there. Move these off to the edge of the camera a little bit. Let's get this garbage out of the way. Now we get to the interesting stuff finally. So, outer tile, backing plate. Well, it definitely went through it. It's definitely split it. Look at all that distortion in there. That appears to be the round wedged in the plastic. Let's cut it out. Et voila, indeed. All right, we'll get to that in a second. Outer tile, in honestly, substantially, ostensibly, the same condition as tile number 2. We have a broken structure that extends well inside. This is the back here you're looking at. It's just completely shattered. The whole top half of that tile. So this piece is broken, but otherwise relatively intact. This whole top half is complete garbage. So let's put that over here. Let's have a look at this, because this is where it gets interesting. So I've got a little brush. That's not good. Try a different brush. Well, I couldn't have hoped for better if I tried. So that is 762 by 39, hollow point, 136 grain. That's going nowhere. That's not going to get removed from that piece of plastic very easy. That is absolutely fascinating. So what can we learn from this? Well, if you wanted to try and mislead people, you could easily claim that a single tile and a single piece of plastic stop this round. But we know from this test, that that's complete rubbish. We know from this test that even to stop a handgun round, it needs a secondary backing piece. I do wonder though, that if I'd substituted a tile for some additional plastic, if I couldn't have made this one more efficient. And in regards to this test, although it required an extra tile, because this has clearly crushed itself trying to get through the second tile, I wonder if I could not have done something very similar as that layout to achieve this result. That is substantially more effective than I could ever possibly have hoped for from less than $1 worth of stuff from around the house. So anyway, while I busily tear off more of this and have a look, I'm going to throw most of this away. I'm going to keep these bits of plastic though. Definitely going to keep this piece as a souvenir. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. Let me know in your comments if this met your expectations and if pretty much what happened the way you thought it would, because it did not for me. So I thought this test was successful until I cut them open, and then after I cut them open I realized it was substantially more successful than I could have hoped. That's it for now. Thank you very much. Have a good night.